So as we get started, please take a comfortable upright seat. If you prefer, you can start in your chair. I'm actually sitting on my physio ball, and then I'll move back to my chair, but I can sit closer to you here this way. If you prefer, you can also sit on the floor if that's within the reach of your hips and your legs and your pelvis feels comfortable there. And then please rest your hands in your lap, and you're welcome to close your eyes. So yoga is a practice that helps us all to become more connected with ourselves and with each other, with life. So when you close your eyes and you tune in, consider the felt sense of the word connection. I often say when I'm talking about the human condition, we have two primary and primal needs. One is for connection, the other is for safety, and the experience of safety through connection. So just to feel into your own sense of connection this morning, what it means for you, where you can tap into that. And of course, during a yoga practice, we are trying to reconnect ourselves with the body and to connect the body and the breath. And also the mind with the spirit, and to connect into our hearts. We also long to be connected to others who are walking a similar path in life, a path of awakening, vitality, a path of reducing suffering, for example. So as you're centering, even without having to open your eyes, you can sense that others are gathering for the practice too. And please bring your hands to your heart. Now this represents the center line of the body when you bring the left hand and right hand together, and also this center line of the spine. So lengthen up through your spine. Take a few breath cycles that are deliberately deeper, deliberately slower. One more time. And then we'll chant together, Sahana Vavatu. May this practice be protective. May it be nourishing. May this practice help us to have strength where needed. May this practice help us to alleviate the difficulties. And may we not feel impatient with ourselves along the way. Let's begin. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidveshavai. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidveshavai. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Tejasvina Varitamastu Ma Vidveshavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. You may bow your head to your heart. And then release your hands. Open your eyes. And just from where you're sitting, sit on the very front edge of the chair that you're sitting in. And so what that will mean is that behind you, you may be able to reach for the arms of the chair. And as you reach back, go ahead and hold the legs or the arms of the chair, depending on how long your arms are. Roll the chest up and your chin down. And try to press the shoulders back. And then very thoughtfully, move your chin like the pendulum of the grandfather clock. So to the right, to the center, and to the left. And do that a few times so we're sort of warming up the process. You might also become aware of differences that you have left to right. That's really common that people have differences right to left. So with shoulders pressing back, go one more time to your left. And one more time to your right. And bring your chin to center. Raise your head up above your spine, relax both arms, and actually let your arms dangle so you're not even resting your hands on your knees. When the arms dangle, you might sense the blood supply going back down the sides of the neck through your shoulders and your arms. Now reach back with only your right hand and hold the leg of the chair. Lift your heart up. Take your left hand and just guide your chest to rotate to your left as you keep the right shoulder back. Then turn your head to your left. Keep the right shoulder drawing back. Once more, bring your left fingers across towards your right shoulder and just kind of glide the muscles, the skin, the sternum to rotate left. And then raise your left arm out to the side as an extension of the twist. Press your right shoulder back, please. And then let's exhale, return, rotate around to center. Let both arms dangle and notice there's a difference right to left, right? That's expected, that there might be an echo on the right side and maybe like a dullness on the left side. Reach back with your left hand to hold the leg of the chair. Lift up through your heart and reach across to take the skin of the upper chest and glide to your right. And draw your heart to your right. Press the left shoulder back. So we want to make a distinction between the left shoulder going back and the chest and the heart coming up and right. Reach your fingers across one more time and give a little smooth nurturance. Invite the rotation to your right. And then raise your right hand out to the side. And breathe in. And then exhale, rotate around to center, let both arms dangle again. And there you are, noticing left to right, maybe even like front to back. Let's take the right arm out to the side, bend your right elbow and place the pinky finger. So your palm's going to be pointing down like this, and it's the pinky finger side of the arm that goes under the base of the skull, right there. Okay, and then raise your right elbow out to the side. And as you start rotating your head to your left, you want to feel the rotation From the base of your skull, your head stays relatively level. Reach your right elbow up and to the right and take your chin down to the left. And then bring your left hand up to gently place it on top of your head. Stretch the right elbow up and to the right, your chin down and to the left. And then release your left hand, gaze to your left with your head level, rotate your head back and release your right arm out to the side. Take the right hand and put the pinky finger side of the hand at the base of the skull so the elbow goes up on an angle. Rotate your head to your right. Gaze down. And raise your right hand up to the top of your head. As you lengthen through your left elbow upwards, and you bring your chin down towards your throat on the right, notice the muscles on the sides of your neck. And then as you next inhale, release your right arm down, bring your head up to be level. And rotate your head back to center and then the left arm out and down. And let's take a few moments to notice again, what is the feeling tone of the neck and shoulders? And how does it influence your mental clarity to have more circulation through here or a little bit of release through here? Now I'm going to switch my camera and ask you to come up to standing, please. Okay, let's see if I got that. I need to change the camera angle just a little bit, please. It's a very sensitive camera, so I can easily over adjust it. Okay, so take a seat again on the front of your chair still. And this time, okay, that's crooked. Sorry, but I don't want you guys to have vertigo, nor do I want that for myself. Okay, so when you sit on the front edge of the chair now, take your feet and knees wide. So it's like having a tripod. So from your hips to your knees and your feet is like a tripod, a balanced tripod. Place the hands out here, and when you come forward, let the shoulders shrug towards your ears. Right? That's a part of the process at the moment. Okay, and then turn your left hand in, right hand out, and twist your upper body to your right. When you turn to your right here, think of the turn being, yes, the belly, the upper belly, the heart, the shoulders, and your head. But keep the left leg and the left inner thigh stretched out and open. And some of you will find that you feel like bending your elbows to make the twist. And I'm going to ask you to keep the arms straight so that your arms are a part of helping your spine to stay long. And then rotate to center. Now turn your right hand in, left hand out, and twist to your left. So you've got two straight arms. And you're turning, yes, through the belly, the upper belly, the heart, the shoulders, and your head. But keep your hips stable and lengthen through your right inner thigh to help with the stability of your hips. And then exhale and come around to center. And when you come to center, walk your heels and toes in and take your seat. Notice the circulation now moving through. Maybe you'll notice it from the base of your skull down into your shoulders and your upper chest, maybe even the upper back. And I'm going to turn my chair sideways. You can turn sideways in your chair. I'm just going to turn mine so you'll see the profile view. So turn to your right in your chair. your left hand across. Sorry, my chair squeaks. That's not my body squeaking. That is the chair. So left hand across to hold here. You will have some pressure of your arm against your abdomen and your torso. Rotate very slightly to your right, and then side bend to your left. You can hold the upper back of the chair with your right hand just for some place to rest it. And as you're side bending to your left, bring your chin in towards your throat and gaze down towards the floor. So this pose relies on gravity. I mean, we're holding the chair firmly with the left hand, but the pose really relies on gravity, that as you're gazing down, you're letting gravity support your head and your left shoulder to melt down towards the floor. You may feel the right side of your neck, the right side of your waist. Roll your right shoulder back, so keep the same openness we had at the first part of class. And then roll yourself up to sitting, and with your right hand, start gliding it down to the outside of the chair and rotate with an upright spine now. Rotate to your right and gaze thoughtfully over your right shoulder. It's very often the case that we don't realize we have patterns of holding in the body in like some small and specific places. One of those places is kind of between the vertebrae. So if you think about in these twisting poses, we're asking for circulation and mobilization, energy, innervation. It's kind of like cleaning out tiny closets in your home. You're going to feel like you have more space, more energy. Also like cleaning out the debris in a river. Even if you clean out the small pockets of debris here and there, eventually the river runs more cleanly, more clearly. So when you next exhale, rotate around to face forward and just get a sense of, okay, how does that feel? Now let's have you guys turn around in your chair to do the other side. I will turn my chair around because it's easier for you to keep seeing me that way. So now you're facing to the left in your chair. And I'm going to have you start by bringing your right hand across to hold the arm of the chair. Make a little twist to your left and then a side bend to your right. And in that side bend, you might hold the upper back of the chair with your left hand. Gaze down past your right shoulder. When you're rolling your left shoulder back, remind yourself of how we did that in the first part of class, that we were asking even the skin of the chest and heart to rotate left. And now keeping an awareness of your body, use the left hand to help pull yourself up when your spine becomes more vertical, so you're upright. Then rotate to your left, and you can slide your left hand around to the outside of the chair. As you're rotating, try to keep your knees stable, hips stable. So your rotation is in the pelvis being stable, so the spine going up starts to rotate. Like holding a jar still and turning the lid. Yeah. And breathing in. And one more time, rotate around to face forward. Rest your hands in your lap. Okay, and let your eyes close. So I'm going to ask you to notice a particular quality called effervescence. This is a word that I like to use. So when you go inside now, be mindful of the places in you that do feel some renewal, some like bubbling energy or effervescence, even if they're tiny places. Like you could sense between the vertebrae, or maybe the side of the neck, even one side more than another. Perhaps between your shoulder blades. So what can happen after what we call a squeeze and release part of the pose, like we squeeze during the twist and then we release it, what can happen in the release is this sort of effervescence, and that has an echo. It has like, like a sound has a certain time when it descends, when it evaporates. The same way the echo will have like a flourishing and then it will fade. It will become normalized or acclimated to. So those squeeze and release processes are to help us reawaken our vitality, to have some renewal. So now I'm going to have you face forward on your chair one more time, and I'll do mine the same. You can just spin about to face forward on your chair. And this time, take 2 blocks, please. They're going to go under your right foot. So we did this last week, I believe. So you make a stack of the 2 blocks and put them only under your right foot. That means that your right knee is high and the left knee is low. But let's make the pelvis stable. Okay, and then put your right hand behind you on the chair seat you're sitting on. Raise your left arm up and twist to your right. Hook your left arm around the outside of your right knee. Do not push your right knee into the center line. Keep it lined up with your right hip. And then twist to your right. And as you're twisting here, try to press your left arm into your right thigh and your right knee and thigh into your left arm. So they're going to match each other right there. You're also closing temporarily the left shoulder girdle. So one place the effervescence is going to be released in this pose is down the left arm after the pose is complete. Also twist to your right and use the low belly muscles to help you with your twist. So let's breathe in, lengthen up through the spine. And then exhale and rotate back to center. Place your right foot on the floor and let both arms dangle. And notice the left arm relative to the right. Go inside and be mindful of any sense of effervescence or like a shimmer or a tingle, a vibration that runs down your left arm. And we'll do the other side. So you bring the blocks over. Place your left foot up on the blocks. Okay. Take the left hand behind you. Inhale, raise your right arm up. And then cross over. So your right arm crosses, left arm behind you. And as you're pressing your right wrist and your left knee against each other, you're closing the right shoulder girdle just briefly. Rotate to your left and go ahead and use the low belly to help with your rotation. Try to keep the spine tall, and as you're breathing in, think of, even though there's some compression, you're wanting the breath to go down into these compressed regions. The belly is compressed on purpose. That's what we're calling the squeeze part of the twist. Good. Okay, breathing in. With your exhale, unwind and place your left foot back on the floor. Let both arms relax. And for the right arm to captivate your attention. So you can even imagine the energy you've kind of released there to make that effervescence happen. And then it gets sort of acclimated to the energy fades. Doesn't that mean that we become dull? We're coming back to homeostasis. So if there's like dull, which is below the line, and there's balance in the middle, homeostasis, there's this effervescence that helps us to overcome dull, to effervescence, and then to a place of balance. Okay, so let's put the 2 blocks aside. We will use them a little bit later. Please come up to standing, and you can have yourself face towards the seat of your chair. Okay, so I'll make mine as a profile view. So when you face the seat of the chair, place your hands on the chair seat, and I'm going to ask you to put your hands so that your fingers, the index fingers are on the chair seat, but the other fingers wrap around your chair seat so that you can step backwards like this to what we call chair dog. When you step back in this way, please don't let the head go lower than your upper arms. Your head might be a little bit up from the upper arms, but should not be lower. Since you're holding the sides of the chair with your fingers, wrap your triceps around and down in towards your nose. So your shoulder blades will widen across your upper back. And from that place, lengthen your spine back into your sacrum and your tailbone. Now we're going to inhale and glide forward to the plank pose. So as you come forward, come up to your toes, tone your low belly, lift the base of your skull so the spine is strong and supported. Breathe in, and then glide back to the chair dog pose again. Root your heels. Okay, inhale, roll forward, come up to your toes. Plank pose. Lift the base of your skull. And exhale, glide back to the chair dog pose. And one more time, inhale, glide forward. And then exhale and glide backwards. Root your heels. And then press down with both hands and step towards the chair. Walk up to your chair and you can come into mountain pose. And when you first stand up in mountain pose, let both arms dangle. You're likely to feel that kind of effervescence or shimmer, not only in your arms now, but also perhaps in your spine, in your torso, down through your legs. Okay, so we're going to place 2 blocks on the chair seat now to give the chair seat a little bit of a lift. And I think if I'm going to mirror you, I've got to move my chair to the other side. You guys can keep your chairs where they are. So I'm just going to give you the profile view here. So the 2 chairs go on the block, 2 blocks go on the chair like this. And take your right foot forward and your left foot back. And let's line the heels up on the yoga mat so that when you step back, you've got your right foot as the line onto which you can step your left heel. Great. And then tip your hips slightly as you place your right hand out over the block. Hi. Yeah, you can do yoga too. It's all right. Okay, so in this position, thinking back to when we had our tripod stance and you were lengthening the inner thigh, I want you to recall that. Press into your right arm for strength, press into your right leg for strength, and lengthen the right inner thigh down towards your big toe. Then turn your pelvis and your lower belly to the left. Turn your belly button to the left, the mid-torso. And as you turn your chest and heart, keep the right shoulder pressed back, right? So if you take your left hand and give a little guidance here, it's not that your right shoulder is coming into the twist, it's that you're turning your chest and heart. Reach your left arm up. If your neck can do it, you can gaze up. As you're breathing in and out through the nose, try to keep the base of your skull lifted. So you're gazing perhaps towards your fingers, but the head should not feel like it's falling backwards. Breathe in and out, and be smooth with the breath. And now with your exhale, keep your right leg steady and rise up. Put your weight into your left leg and your right. Relax both arms. Bend your right knee, so it's going to come into the pose that we would call Warrior Two. So, oh, hi there. So the right thigh doesn't have to be parallel to the floor, but I would like your right shin to be vertical. So press down through your right heel and your right toes. And when your shin feels vertical, lengthen through your inner thigh right here. And place your right hand again. Press down through your left heel. Now the right leg, you're going to keep that totally steady and start turning your lower belly, the navel, the heart. Again, not your shoulder, but the chest. Take the left arm out. Gaze to your left. And as you keep the right inner thigh long and your left leg strong, now raise your left arm up past your left ear. Let's keep the right arm steady as well. So the right shoulder does not sneak forward towards the sternum, but rolls back away from the sternum. Keep your right inner thigh long. There's an inclination to kind of straighten the leg a little bit. But press into your right heel and toes. And now when you exhale, float your arms out to the side and come into the pose called Warrior Two. Turn your gaze over your right shoulder now. As you stretch your arms out, try to lower your shoulder blades. So the arms are not held to the ears by clothespins. And now straighten your right leg, join your hands together, make the feet parallel, and step to mountain pose. And pause again to feel the effervescence moving through your body. You're welcome to close your eyes. You might also sort of catch a glimpse of the way the body sways a little bit. Now we'll do the other side of that sequence. I have a passenger on my chair, so I have to turn it around to the other side thoughtfully. So left foot forward. You don't have to move your chairs. I'm moving mine because then you can keep seeing me facing towards you. So left foot to the left, right heel back. Make the stance strong for both legs. And let's place the left hand over onto the blocks. So keeping your left leg long and strong, press into your left big toe, left thigh, left outer hip, and then you're going to be lengthening. The twist comes as the spine lengthens. So twist your low belly, go up to the mid belly, the upper belly, roll your left shoulder back, turn your heart, raise your right arm. As you're gazing up towards your right fingers, try to keep a lift at the base of your skull. So you're training your neck muscles inside here. The head does not need to fall backwards. As you're rotating to the right, and open the chest like a sail, catching the wind on the ocean. And then begin to bend your left leg. You're going to come into the stance of Warrior Two. Yeah, so right here, each hip wants to help the pelvis to be upright. Yeah. Lengthen your left inner thigh. Okay, rotate your belly to your right. Raise your right arm up. And this time also past your ear. And try to imagine all the places where you have sensation. They're like places where you're going to be unearthing the effervescence. You're freeing up your vitality for the purpose of renewal. As you press down with your left hand, rotate your heart to your right. And keep the left knee bent so your knee stays over your heel. And with an exhale, let's start coming up to Warrior Two, where you're going to rotate your gaze now to your left. Again, relax the shoulder blades down because your shoulder blades are not held up to your ears by clothespins. And then with an exhalation, straighten your left leg, join your hands together. Let's make the feet parallel. And step into mountain pose. And pause again to notice that you're unearthing from dullness to effervescence to harmony, to homeostasis. Now I like it to have 2 chairs. So often in this class we use 2 chairs. So if you don't have a second chair, now is a good time to bring one in. And I'll get my second chair. So you need 2 chairs and 2 kittens. Chairs are going to face each other. And the closeness of the chairs is relative to the length of your legs. You will know in just a moment where we're going. Let me recommend that if one of your chairs is metal like mine is, that you can pad the seat to make it more comfortable for your hips. I'm going to be switching chairs from one seat to the other. So now I have 2 that are padded. Okay, so facing the chair in front of you, take your right foot out to the side and your left foot up on the chair in front of you. You place your left leg up there. So there's this space between the 2 legs and you have your 2 blocks. And I know this is not easy for people, and I know that it will look easy when I do it. And that's partly my yoga practice, but also my genetics. So we're going to be coming down for the 2 hands to be supported by 2 blocks. So I'd like your left leg to be out straight as well as you can. The toes point up here. The right knee bent, but coming out to the side. As you come forward and down, you may start noticing like your left hamstring or your left inner thigh, maybe the right hip or hamstring, right inner thigh. Imagine your breath going into the sensations as like an ambassador of revitalization. The stretching sensations are like places in our bodies that have become a little bit dehydrated or a little bit sedentary, or they're carrying tension for us. So we come in as the ambassador of revitalization. Okay, now you have both hands down. Potentially they're both on blocks. Let's keep the left hand on its block and take your right hand to your right knee and add a little twist to your right. And the twist again, it's not that your left shoulder is going into the twist. Try to keep your left shoulder actually pressing slightly back. So you know that your left arm from your shoulder to your wrist is very stable. And breathe in and out through the nose. And then root down, press into your right hand on your right knee, and roll up to sit, and just face whatever will be neutral for your spine and your pelvis. Step your left foot down and pause to notice the effervescence that you're kind of unearthing. Now we're going to change sides, which means I'm going to change chairs. So when you sit on the other side, you're going to put your left leg out to the side. Sorry, honey. Right leg up on the chair, left leg out to the side. And then we're going to come down, and the two blocks will be again for the hands, like this. You can relax the weight of your head as you like. Try to keep the muscles of your right leg steady, even though the leg may seem to be, it's not weight bearing particularly. It is a part of your stabilization. So energize your right leg muscles, your right foot and toes. Imagine the breath touching the sensations inside the body. These are areas where we become dehydrated, or we're holding tension, or something has become sedentary. So the breath is like this ambassador of vitality. You can place your left hand on your left knee and start twisting to your left. Remember that your right shoulder is going to be stable. It's not coming into the twist. So make the right arm steady and strong. Your twist is relying on it. And as you press into your left arm, begin to increase that strength while you're rising up to sitting. Let the right arm dangle, and you come up. Face whatever's going to be neutral according to your hips and your spine. Place your right foot back on the floor and take notice. What are you kind of unearthing, right? As if you were aerating the garden. And now, staying in the chair that you're sitting in, face directly towards the one in front of you and put the soles of the feet up on the chair together. I do want to encourage you to have the chair be padded, sufficiently padded. I'm going to turn my padding so it's not lumpy. And then you place the soles of the feet together. We are coming forward. You might decide that the chair is within reach for your fingers, or that you want your chair to be a little bit closer. One way to do that is to bring the whole chair in. Don't knock into your shin bones, please. This is called Badakanasana. And you can reach out to hold the legs of the chair in front of you. You could hold your own ankles if that's easier to reach. You can hold the upper back of the chair in front of you. And so as you're coming into Badakanasana, again, consider the breath can meet the sensations in your body as like an ambassador of vitality. Now, keeping your legs as they are, walk your right hand to the left leg of the chair. Take your left hand to your left knee and twist to your left. Doesn't have to be a big twist for it to be effective, but everything should feel breathable in yoga class and yoga practice. Imagine again the breath touches these sensations. Those are the areas in the body we're going to be looking for that effervescence to be kind of emitted like a fragrance. Let's roll to center and change sides. Walk your left hand to the right leg of the chair and your right hand to your right knee. And please release your left hand. Let yourself rise up to center, to sit in the center. And then place your feet back down to the floor. And pause again to notice the effervescence. And if you walk your feet out a little bit, so what you have is a downstream flow from your hips to your knees to your feet. You might even be able to sense that this effervescence can go as far as the toes. Okay, and then please turn to face where you can see me. Okay, so we have these two chairs right now, and then the practice I'd like us to try on. I'm going to move my chairs a little bit so they're more centered. I think you'll get a better sense of what we're doing. Pardon me, honey. Okay. So another region of the body that needs opening frequently is in the hip flexors here. So if I put these two chairs where when I bend forward, I have one chair for each hand. And I step back. This is like doing what we call in the sun salutation. This is the basic lunge. Okay, so I want you to be able to have two straight, strong arms. The right shin is forward and the left leg is reaching back strongly. So we don't have to be as far down over the femur, the thigh bone, nor are we up trying to balance. The strength of your arms is a part of the pose here. So when you're pressing down with both arms, lift your spine and reach back with the left leg down with your tailbone. Lift the pubic bone up. We are not sinking into the right hip or thigh. In fact, it shouldn't feel like there's all that much weight on your right leg, your front leg, because you're using your arms and your back leg. Now press into your right foot. Make your right leg strong. Straighten the right leg for a moment. And keeping the left leg strong and steady, bend your right knee. You're coming down into this basic lunge. Again, it should not feel like everything is depending on your right leg, nor should your right thigh start smoking or burning. Press down through both arms. So we're really trying to lengthen and open the left hip flexors. Yeah, good. Okay, let's release it again. So you're going to straighten the right leg, let the torso come forward. So the openness of the left hip, we back off on that for a moment. And then again, bend your right knee, strengthen your left leg, your back leg. Tone the left butt. Breathe into your left hip flexors. Mine are sensational too. And then press down and straighten your back leg, as your front leg, excuse me. Use the chairs as you need to. Step your left foot forward and then your right foot back. And again, place your hands where they can be a support to you. If your hands need a break, you can shake it out. And then the right leg straight behind you. Squeeze your right butt muscle. So you're using the back of the hip to help open the front of the hip. Press into both arms so you know you have the stability and the strength that you're needing. Press down through your left heel. Even though it's not the most weight-bearing part of the pose, activate your left leg muscles, but don't collapse onto your left hip. And keeping your right leg strong, slowly straighten your left leg. And then bend your left knee, gliding through. And then straighten your left leg again, so you're gliding through there. And bend your left leg. Keeping the right butt strong. Breathe into your right hip flexors. So you've said hello to them. You're inviting there to be a revitalization. And then step your right foot forward and rise up to standing. And see if you can sense what energy then goes down both legs. Sometimes people will feel like a little bit lightheaded because there is more circulation going down for a time, and then it should level out. Yeah. Okay, now let's take it down to the floor. I would request that you have 2 blankets and 1 chair. So you can decide which chair that's going to be of the 2 that you've been using. And the 2 blankets are going to go on the floor in front of your chair. They're going to be there for your hips. Like this. There you go. Okay, we're going to come down to the waterfall pose, which is one of my favorite ways to end this class. It's one of my favorite ways to begin my restorative classes on Tuesday evenings, which is a different class. But the reason we use it is because it sends the circulation back in towards the heart and the brain. And because most people are not inverted at any point during their day, unless they're doing all the yoga like myself, but we don't invert very much. One of the benefits of being slightly inverted like this is how the blood supply changes slightly here. And you get this sort of rinsing action for the organs in the abdomen. So come down and elevate your legs. Support your hips with the 2 blankets. Tuck the shoulder blades under the heart. You can put your eye pillow on if you have one. And you're welcome to have the arms out to the side, or hands can be on the lower belly if you like. So we were just doing that work in the legs. And then when we stood up, I said, oh, you might feel like a little bit lightheaded because the blood supply was going down towards the legs. And now it's reversing. So this circulation process comes back towards the chest, the heart, and the head. Back in the 70s, and maybe before that too, but in the 70s was when I first heard about it, that nurses, waitresses, and stewardesses should elevate their legs at the end of their workday. The reason being, they didn't want to have varicose veins. Now, interesting, they didn't say that the waiters, the doctors, and the stewards should do that, but they said the waitresses, the nurses, and the stewardesses. And that was because they worked in jobs where they were on their feet all day. So they wanted to reverse the circulation. They would say, put your legs up the wall or up on the sofa. I don't know much about varicose veins, but I do know that this circulation is going back towards your heart and more towards your head and your brain. Allow your mind and your body to be deeply still. The reconnection that you began at the beginning of class is still underway. Invite your mind not to wander off, neither daydreaming nor planning.
allow the process to continue. It's possible that you'll notice things like the muscles of the face get heavier, they get more relaxed. You might notice the breath becomes shallow, simple. Invite your body to be renewed by this most natural means of renewal. Allow your rest to go a bit deeper. Yet again, most of us are more in need of rest than we realize. So allow the next minute to be a heavier relaxation, a deeper quality of ease. You're allowing the mind to stay heavy, not to get activated. Just bring awareness in to sense. Here is your body in the present moment. Your body wisdom coming in to take care of all the systems that can revitalize and nourish you. With that in mind, maybe an appreciation for your body. You can lightly wiggle your toes, your fingers, and bring your knees towards your chest. Your hips are elevated by the blanket, so gravity can help you with the knees coming in. And then roll down to your side. Use your hands to bring yourself up to sitting and come up to your seat for meditation. I'm going to do the same, which means I'm going to join you up closer to the computer. You can stay right there. So come to your meditation seat. We say it's the jewel of the yoga practice to have the meditation. So find your upright, comfortable, stable seat, please. And rest your hands in your lap. You can have the eyes closed if you like. Let's bring awareness to the inner body and try to sense the homeostasis. Like, not that your body is dull, nor is it overexcited. Grounded, vital, and in what I like to call the housekeeping hum, the homeostasis. As you rest in this kind of attention, be in your gentle observer, the non-judging witness. And try to stay in that inner witness mode. Right? It's not easy because the mind has a habit of talking to us about us. But try to stay in the gentle observer. I like to say the non-judgmental witness.
And join your hands together at your heart. You've committed this really important time to your self-care. This renewed connection to that in you, which is neither dull nor frantic, but capable of being grounded, revitalized, balanced. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. I hope you feel renewed